Hello. Welcome to, I think we have a title for the podcast.
Trek in the Valley.
Trek in the Valley.
Hello.
Possibly episode 6. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then. My name is Adam Ordall Quinnell, and I'm here with...
My name is Al Hirt.
With my co-host, Al Hirt. We are in sunny, actually overcast today, Van Nuys, California. Recording...
Nice and warm.
Nice and warm, but still humid and overcast.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we are recording our adorable little Star Trek podcast that we do. And hopefully you heard intro music and maybe even a little intro for this episode. We will see when we get there.
Still in development.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for coming along with us on our journey as we learn how the hell to make a podcast in a room with a giant mirror in Van Nuys, California. Al, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. I feel pretty good. It was a nice Sunday, went and walked.
You went and walked?
Yeah.
How far did you walk?
Probably about maybe a mile loop.
Did you walk here from your apartment? Oh, no.
No way. That was way too far. No, I just figured it was a really nice day. Figured try to get a little tan.
Yeah, and it's because it's overcast. It isn't punishingly sunlit.
True.
Yeah, I had a good time. I've had a good weekend. I've kind of done a staycation. I have just been chilling, watching all of the Hulk-related
you've
content.
Been hulking up.
Yeah, I've been hulking out on my streaming services, trying to because I watched the She-Hulk, and then I wanted to watch the other MCU stuff that had the Hulk in it. Unfortunately, I did sit through the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it a pleasant trip down memory lane?
A lot of it is bad.
Of course,
but what I will say,
it's complicated.
Before we talk about Star Trek, what I will say is they really fucking figured out the Hulk between 2007 or 2008's Incredible Hulk and the Incredible Hulk and 2012's The Avengers, because I kind of watched those back to back, and the Hulk stuff in Avengers is like boss as hell. It's awesome. And it's a completely different experience in the Edward Norton one, which had its own stuff going on. But
Edward Norton made it seem like a curse.
I've just been he wanted to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in stark contrast to what we get from She-Hulk. Spoiler alert. Fairly chill weekend around the apartment. Did get out and about a little bit, and it was 1,000 degrees in my car. Currently does not have air conditioning because that's the kind of this is a podcast where one of the hosts, their car does not have air conditioning, and they live in the San Fernando Valley, and it is a nightmare. Welcome to Trek in the Valley. This is Adam and Al.
Though here,
absolutely. That's
women,
there.
Right?
It is. We are talking about Mud's Women, which is episode 6 of the original series. Yes, because we figured it out. They include the pilot as one of them on the Paramount Plus listing.
Yep.
Episode 6, Mud's Women. It aired originally on October 13th, 1966. The synopsis from Paramount Plus: the Enterprise rescues con artist Harry Mudd and his, quote, beautiful female cargo. Quote, beautiful. I feel like they're kind of tipping their hat. They're tipping their hand a little bit there. The long and short of it, I'm gonna try and do a very compressed synopsis quick. And then we'll talk about all the little fun stuff that happens, because it's a really good episode.
It's a thick episode.
A classic. Obviously, they bring Mudd back.
Oh, yeah. He's way too charming.
Rainn Wilson plays him. The actor that plays Harcourt Fenton Mudd is, let me take a peek here, Roger C.
Carmel. Right?
Roger C. Carmel or Carmel. He is kind of sweet looking, too. He looks like his name would be Caramel. And he's great. And this character ends up being played by Rainn Wilson in Discovery and one of those Star Trek shorts in the future. Very good stuff. So basically, the ship picks up Mudd and his women as their ship is being destroyed by an asteroid field.
No, but this is really strange. They start out chasing them, it seems like.
So they're basically Mudd tricks the Enterprise into destroying his ship in this asteroid field by mistake. It's all very strange. What it comes down to is the Enterprise is running low on lithium, and they pick up this Mudd guy and his beautiful women. The women hypnotize the crew. They're just very fetching.
Attractive.
They're very attractive. And then there's a trial on the ship about how Mudd doesn't have a license to. They put him on a lie detector where a computer screen tells him that he's lying. Then there's a lithium mine, and Mudd's like, we'll sell the women to the lithium miners.
Yeah, they're going to do a swap.
Yep, and then they find out that the women are only beautiful because they're on this drug, this Venus drug, and the miner feels stilted or jilted or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that the lady didn't need the Venus drug to be hot. She just needed self-confidence. And they found that out at the end. And then she ends up staying with the guy that's like, whoa, I didn't touch her. Every time anybody talks to him about this lady, he's like, and remember, I didn't touch you. Like, I could have, but I didn't. So that's Mudd's women.
Backward thread.
That's Mudd's women. But that's the super fast in a nutshell. And then they leave one of the women there, it seems like,
and the other two
maybe I don't know.
Because I said he said two to beam up, right? So I was thinking maybe him and
Mudd,
right?
yeah. So at the end, Kirk leaves with Mudd. The women stay there unless they were already on the ship. That's what I was thinking.
They can nullify the marriage too
because the women were on the ship.
True.
And the women get married to these miners over a subspace signal, and that is a fast
we'll cover that
recap of this. But it opens with some great, awesome Enterprise shot as usual.
Oh, yeah, it was cool. The ship flying through space.
And they're in pursuit. The ship is in pursuit of a digitally remastered special effect.
Yeah.
Basically,
cool.
The ship looks cool that they're chasing Mudd's ship. So what do you think? What's not to just be, what do you think? But we did the quick recap.
This was a thick one. I mean, there was a lot going on other than the classic little story. There was no B plot. You would think that Spock would think off and do his own thing. I was reading in the compendium that we got here, actually.
Drop some science from the compendium, Al.
That they said he was, people were thinking that he was still breaking out because Spock would be the one person that could solve this issue, right? Like beautiful women. And he'd be
so the women
hey, what the heck is going on? You think he would take charge, right?
Sure, because Mudd's women are hypnotizing the crew, and Kirk even resists the hell out of it. You'd think Kirk would give in sooner than he does, and he kind of does by the end. But then he finds out about the Venus drug.
But other than that, this episode's great. I mean, and we also, this is the first time we hear about other things, or I was just turning to Adam when we were watching, and I was saying, hey, what's the deal? What's the law out here? How do they arrest them? Is there
because they're gonna have a trial for Mudd.
For what? And I was like, could you imagine though thinking you're doing a right thing using women as slaves pretty much is pretty awful.
Gross.
Disgusting, yeah.
Sure.
But also though, the fact that he just didn't know what he was doing, or he knew what he was doing was wrong, but just he didn't think he'd get caught. But it's
Mudd is very brazen.
So awkward. Yeah, he banks on a lot of things.
He's got a lot of confidence.
Just hearing you say though, that he banked on them just blowing up his ship, and then if they didn't agree with him after the fact, then Khan would have been dead there.
No, so if they didn't want to help him, he thinks that he could just have the ladies hypnotize everybody.
Everyone?
Yeah, he thinks that he'll just take control of the ship, and then it's his ship. He's in Starfleet now. He does say that later.
Oh, it's hilarious.
There's a lot of funny shit.
Good episode.
One thing I will say is if you're in a sci-fi property and you are in a spaceship, and you are following another spaceship into an asteroid field, it is a trap.
Yeah.
That is the sci-fi spaceship equivalent of don't go in the basement.
Yeah.
Where the psycho killer is. And I like how Mud's women are just like 1960s hot earth ladies.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
One of
the
them.
best,
Which one?
which I think it was. Hold on, let me check here.
One of them was a model for early Playboy, and it was. Al, you're gonna have to edit these episodes so you can cut out the silence. But these women look like they stepped out of a cocktail party in the 1960s. They're all wearing like sequin dresses, very like a space cocktail party. One of the women who plays Mud's women was a Playboy model in the 60s.
Susan Denberg.
Susan Denberg played Magda.
I think it's the lady that was in the pink one.
Yes, the pink one. Mm-hmm. They're like Power Rangers.
They're Power
Mud's
Rangers,
women.
basically, let's go ahead and do that.
Also,
one's purple, one's pink, and the other one's green.
And these miners that they get to because they need lithium. The ship needs the Enterprise needs lithium. They lost all their lithium trying to keep Mud alive with his women before his ship exploded, right? So they go to this lithium mine. And the miners are also guest stars, and one of them is notable. I mean, they're probably all notable, but to me, Gene Dynarski, who plays Ben, one of the miners, he's also the one that's like, I didn't touch her. I could have touched her. I didn't touch her.
Lines.
It's very weird. I could have touched her, but I didn't. You remember, you were here, lady, when I didn't touch you. But anyway, Gene Dynarski, he was in a classic episode of Seinfeld as one of the Mandelbaum boys when they're like Mandelbaum, when it like Lloyd Bridges is the old dad of the Mandelbaum family and they're all like fitness crazy. They're basically Wes Anderson characters before Wes Anderson was a thing, the Mandelbaums. But that's him. That's Gene Dynarski, who was in this episode and probably a million other things. Oh, and I forgot at the top, our Chekhov check-in. We're still 23 episodes. 23 episodes away from Chekhov, and I did take out 2 good line reads from when we were watching. So at one point, Kirk, he goes down to the miners and he's not able to get the crystals that he needs. And Scotty is like, well, if you would have got the fucking crystals, we wouldn't be having this problem right now, Captain James T. Kirk. And Kirk's like, we don't have the crystals. We didn't get them. I should have found a way. Are you satisfied, Mr. Scott? He's like, yeah, Scotty, I fucked up, all right? Get off my dick about it.
You felt the pain in his words.
Yeah, he really blamed himself.
This was like the 5th time he asked, though. We need to get the lithium.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, Mr. Scott. Do we need the lithium, Mr. Scott?
I think so.
Do we need the lithium? Because I thought maybe we didn't need the fucking lithium anymore. Oh, because I thought we got... You didn't get the lithium? When I was fucking up not getting the lithium, you weren't secretly getting other lithium, Mr. Scott? Also, at one point, one of the ladies...
A lot of weird things in this episode.
So there are the 3 ladies, and one of the ladies, I believe it's Eve, right? Yeah, Karen Steele plays Eve. She's the lady with the most screen time. Because she's the one who like figures out Mud's doing this bullshit.
The pink lady, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So no, I guess I can't remember what colors they were wearing, but she's Eve, the one that Kirk mentions by name a bunch. And she refuses to take the pill at one point, and they say that they get ugly. But really, they just get kind of weathered. Like they're not ugly; they just have some lines on their faces. Like you wouldn't be like you'd strike up if you were single at home on Thanksgiving break from school and you're in your like late 20s and you run into these ladies. You wouldn't like not hang out with them and they like send you a drink or whatever. They're decent looking ladies, but they really play up the without these pills they're so fucking ugly.
Well, it's age definitely in that sense, but also like I think what the effect is too with them is like they put a bunch of powder on their face, they look a little paler, but then they also like one of the ladies, it's a cool effect where they kind of seems like they took like plastic wrap or something on their face and then like, stretched
Yeah.
it out and tore it so it looked like they had wrinkles and
She's
stuff.
got weird lines.
But then it's like, I don't know, they look more like they're shedding or anything like that, you know? It wasn't like, oh, they're so hideous.
I
like,
wouldn't
I
think
thought,
they
you
were,
know,
like-
maybe they're different aliens, but no, they're
not
regular
ugly. They just
people.
got something going on.
They don't have makeup on. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. They just woke up.
And fun fact about this episode, right? It was when they rejected the first pilot.
Oh yeah, this was one of 3 that scripts that Gene Roddenberry pitched
To NBC to be the replacement pilot. It was this,
Right.
Where No Man Has Gone Before, which is what they went with. And what was the other one?
Oh wait, I don't know the third one.
Oh, it might have just been the reworked version of Man Trap or whatever at the beginning.
Probably it could be
but-
Man Trapped again.
Well, at any rate, this would have been a bananas pilot.
First, no, to start
Right,
off the
because
series
you don't
like
know
this?
that
No
Kirk.
way,
You don't know
yeah.
that Kirk is a bit of a Lothario. You don't. You know, there's just
Yeah,
so much.
there's a lot
that
of
you
things
don't
that have to
know,
get set up for this.
to be as effective as it is. Like the fact that Mud is such a disruptive force on the ship. Like, and you don't really, if you didn't know the workings of the ship a little bit by this point, I think it would be confusing that like
Well, they get
how
into
the
way
women
too
are
much too
getting
fast.
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was that?
No, they're getting they get into way too much too fast. Like it's a very fast paced episode because a lot happens. Because you think they're just dealing with Mud and the women just on the ship, but then the miners get brought up and then they go there, and then it's like more about the same thing. There's no B plot. It's just them getting the crystals and it's them dealing with the women.
Yeah, what we find is like so many of these episodes of T, capital T, lowercase o, capital S, the original series, they feel like so much happens because they've got that slow 1960s TV storytelling. The episodes were longer because there were shorter commercial breaks.
Oh yeah.
So these episodes are like 53 minutes long or whatever, and today they would be 42 or well, I mean for streaming now I think like the motherfucking
45, right?
well that's for network, but with these streaming providers I think Strange New Worlds and Discovery, they can be longer than 42. They did eventually play Discovery on CBS I think, but those are longer. And the Seth MacFarlane show, The Orville New Horizon episodes on Hulu are like an hour and 20 minutes. Like they're long as hell. There's 7 or 8 of them, and it's a good show. Mm-hmm. I think they transitioned well into it not being like a yuck comedy. It's more of like, oh, it's just Next Generation light, basically. And I think it works. And we've been talking ostensibly. Oh, you can hear it.
Yeah,
That's. As they refer to it on a podcast I listen to called Comedy Bang Bang, that is a helicopter.
Yes.
No, one of the open mic hosts in town refers to it as LA Wildlife.
Oh
when
yeah.
we do the outdoor open mic because of COVID. We've been talking. We covered some other stuff at the top, but we've been talking about this episode of Star Trek for like 15 minutes now, and we haven't mentioned that Harcourt Mudd's costume is fucking insane.
Yeah, he looks like a pirate, right?
Well, he's like a pirate
/
slash
big
Robin
belt.
Hood.
Yeah.
He's like a Robin Hood pirate, and he's got like a really smart colored top. Like he's well coordinated.
He
and
looks
he's
like
got a
Sinbad.
hat. Yes, he looks like a Sinbad Robin Hood cross. I love it. And as I mentioned, the ladies basically look like they just stepped out of like cocktail hour on the deck of a cruise in the 60s.
It's about as futuristic as they can imagine too in the 60s.
Sure.
And the standard was different too, right? He was saying, Mudd says at one point that the drug that they would take would make women more rounder, but the standard I feel like back then was just very, I don't know, they just seemed all slim.
Yeah,
and very tender.
And very
Like,
smooth. Like all the lines,
yes.
like that's what they envisioned as a beautiful woman back then. They're very smooth, and I suppose the same thing is true now.
Oh no, of
Fuck
course.
the
People
patriarchy.
People could still, yeah, of course.
Burn
but
the
it's still,
patriarchy to the ground.
No, and I was bringing up Andrew Tate to Adam, and he was like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, oh, it's all for the better, but it's definitely like all these weird ideas that guys kind of have. This is kind of what Harry Mudd stands for.
And what he's preying on.
Yeah, no, he preys on it perfectly. And it works out.
Yeah, so he's got these ladies on this Venus drug, and he's going to ostensibly sell them to these miners, and then the miners are going to find out, whoa, these ladies don't look like this. The good quote, one of the good quotes is from the lady Eve. Mm-hmm. That's what started this tangent, looking up her name. Nobody's paying attention to her. There's like two miners, and they're paying attention to the other two Mudd's women. And Eve says, why don't you just run a raffle and the loser gets me? And then she goes out into a snowstorm. Kirk follows her. They end up doing a search.
For 7 hours.
Mandelbaum Jr. finds her. The guy from the Seinfeld episode finds her, brings her in.
Oh, that's so funny.
And when she wakes up, he's like, I could have touched you. I didn't touch you. And then she makes him dinner. And then at the end, even though he was really weird and Kirk placebos her, she thinks she takes the drug to be beautiful. And then she becomes actively more beautiful. They do the makeup on her. So at the end, she's like, fine, I'll just take, she's like talking to, what's his name here? Ben.
Ben, yeah.
She's like, Ben, you don't want to, this is a great speech.
Because
she said, you don't want a wife. You don't want a partner.
Vapid.
You don't want a partner. You want a beautiful, subservient woman that doesn't have her own ideas. You want this drug. And then she takes the drug, and then they do the beautiful soft focus and the makeup on her and make her look beautiful. And then Kirk is like, that's a placebo. That was just colored gelatin. You had the beauty inside you all along. It's a really weird,
it was confusing. It was a weird ending.
Yeah, they basically say, and then she decides to stay with the guy. She's like, hey, I'll stay with this. He is still a rich miner. Not that that's part of her old deal, but yeah. So she ends up staying with him. Like they say, I'll stay with him for a day and just kind of see what happens. And she's gonna stay with that miner. There's a lot of fun stuff in this. I
think what's interesting too was that they let the drug angle stay in, considering that it was NBC and it was like drug addiction
in the 60s.
Yeah,
they downplay it.
They definitely downplay it and neutralize it at the very end.
Especially at the end, they're like, you didn't even need the drug.
That's why it was really confusing. And then. And then they're like, oh, man, it wasn't official, though, was it? And Kirk was like, it's subspace official. They're married on the subspace.
They're married on the subspace. They sent an email. They sent us an email across the galaxy. They're married now.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, so let's talk
we can nullify it, don't worry.
Let's talk about the hearing for a minute. So they do this. This scene is awesome because they bring up. They've got a computer that's has all the information about Mudd.
The computer
because he originally says his name is what? What does he say his name is? Leo something.
Yeah,
he says
Leo
his name is some
something.
bullshit name, and that's the name of the. And then the computer's like incorrect. That is not your name. And then he's like, fine, I'm Harcourt Fenton Mudd. And then it brings up this rat. Like this has got to be a poster. It's like a picture of Mudd's face, and then it lists his offenses.
Yeah,
and
it's his record, his space record.
So it's his rap sheet, basically. And the one thing it says is, sentenced to psychiatric treatment, effectiveness disputed. That's the best thing. Like, Mudd's got to sit there and be like, we sent him to a shrink, and we don't think it took. We think he's still fucking crazy. And Mudd's just like, got to sit there and listen and talk shit. And during the hearing, these ladies are sending the crew to Boner Town. Like, Kirk is fighting it. Scotty, let's talk about Scotty's faces for not to get off on a tangent.
My God.
The rest of the hearing is great.
The rest of the guys understand what it looks like, though, to seem attracted.
So to put a button on the hearing stuff, the rest of the hearing is Leo Walsh was the captain he took place for. And so yes, the computer detected heavy breathing. His blood pressure's all fucked up. Of the board of like Scotty and so basically they find out. They have the computer scan everybody in the room, and the women are elevating their blood pressure. So these women are beyond just what regular women would do. They're controlling the crew, right? But when they first see the women earlier, all of the crew has a look on their face that's like how you would respond to seeing a fetching lass. And McCoy is just googly eyes, like McCoy looks human. Spock has like a regular face. He looks the same. But then they get to Scotty, who looks insane. Like,
oh yeah, he does.
Scotty looks as though James Doohan has nobody's ever told him, hey, he's never seen a beautiful woman. It's a very particular face. All I can say is subscribe to Paramount Plus.
He's like squatting.
Watch this episode. It definitely looks like he's trying to take a shit. And that's like what and you know that the director
his toe on the corner of a table and he's like, ooh.
And he's shitting at the same time. And you know the director didn't make a lot of money. Like the director was on a tight schedule, so he just could not get this face shot right. Yeah, two takes is too many, and just really. But yeah, so Bones and Scotty are hypnotized. Kirk fights it. Kirk gets back to his room and even finds a lady in his bed.
Oh, so weird.
And he's got to fight that.
The urge,
and that's where Eve says, I don't like what Harry's doing. Because she's trying to seduce the captain. So the other two ladies go and seduce Scotty. The other two ladies go and seduce Scotty and Bones to learn about the miners. Because Mudd is like, you got to go get reconnaissance on these miners. Make sure they're people who we want to sell you to. And so then the women go and the other two do their assignment properly and get the information from Scotty and Bones. But Eve is like, God damn it. I just don't want to. I don't give a shit what Harry Mudd wants. I'm tired of this. And she storms out. And one thing that was interesting that Al brought up is he was like, it'd be interesting to be a gay crew member on the Enterprise during this. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, all of these guys look completely brain dead when they look at these women.
And that's the other thing.
I think Scotty's having right? Gay guy is like, I think Scotty's having a stroke. And I don't even remember seeing Uhura in this episode.
Right?
I feel like Nichelle Nichols had the week off because that happened a lot back then where like an actor just had to have the week off to go do something. And so they just wouldn't change the schedule.
Which script should we use?
They'd be like, this is going to be it. We're going to just replace her scenes with Spock scenes.
Oh, and then like it got so they seduced the crew so often that they were just using the same shots of the close-ups of their eyes.
Oh yeah, of the women.
They just kept repeating
very
the shots.
Soft focus.
Like, oh my God.
Very soft focus close-ups. They search for the lady who ran out. We don't have the crystals. Izzy Mandelbaum Jr., the miner, finds the lady, keeps her hidden. She cooks some dinner, and he's like, I've not laid a hand on you, and also I've made better dinner.
Oh my God.
Like that whole exchange with them.
Her.
That's another great scene. He's like, I made better dinner by my own hand. And she's like, yeah, I could taste it in your dirty ass pot.
Yeah. And then she goes, what? He goes, well, I mean, go to a well, get some water. I'll just wash it off. And she's like, why don't you just sandblast it? Because you're on a planet full of sand.
Yeah, just hang the pot outside, you fucking idiot.
And he's like...
And then the next scene is him hanging pots outside. Yeah. Their relationship is so strange because you kind of end up rooting for them a little bit at the end. Like, I'm dumb, yeah, like, because she's like, hey, I'm my own woman, but I kind of, like, want to be here with this guy because, hey, he didn't touch me. He could have, but he didn't.
And this is when the B plot kind of grows. But at this point... They got like 5 minutes left in the episode. The last time we see the Enterprise, Kirk's like, we got 48 minutes left of power before we need the crystal.
Yeah, they go because they need lithium and they can't just go to a CVS with their prescription and they need like lithium rocks. And they say
no Federation outpost.
They've got like 4.5 hours left at one point, and then in the next scene, it's like we've got 30 minutes left. It goes from 4.5 hours to 30 minutes.
3 hours.
And this,
like,
that was when they were looking for
hilarious.
To figure out what was going on. Then they get the stones. Everything's fine. At the end, Spock is like, hey, I'm stoked that my internal organs are not like yours, McCoy. It's one of those times when Spock's lording over the fact that he doesn't. It's like, yeah, I'm not human. It is weird that she went on a date with that guy and probably stayed there.
Oh, it was so... I mean, the other two, too. But also it was just hilarious how it just reminded me they had 48 minutes to live, and then there was probably 30 minutes left when Kirk and Mud went back down on that planet.
The timing is weird,
right?
Because they say it's like 4.5 hours, and then it's 45 minutes, and then they go down to the planet and like look around.
And then the miners don't bother to tell them that they found
what's her name? Eve. Yeah. Well, he hit her because he wanted to be like, whoa, I didn't touch him. I wanted to hide you here for a little bit. Yeah, because he wakes up and she's making breakfast and he gets mad. One of the ancillary characters, a pilot who we believe is played by.
Oh yeah, but back what I was saying.
I'm sorry. I'll continue.
Oh no worries. I was just saying it kind of is just like a hell ship, right? They like literally almost die.
Oh yeah, the hell ship. So Al has this on. If this is your introduction to Trek in the Valley, Al has
this whole
working theory that the Enterprise crew is actually in hell, and this hell is the ship is their hell where they're paying for their sins because there's just constantly some fucked up awful shit. And honestly, if that's hell,
if they
I'm
just
cool
recorded
with
it all though, just like constantly things going through. Like no, I was thinking, well, yeah, that's a good theory, but I was putting it in terms of like. I can imagine everybody in the Federation just reading and learning this, like, oh wow, what the hell's going on? Like that's just a hell ship because like so much fucking shit happens on the Enterprise that it's like wacky and stuff that like all those stories have to be logged and written down. So that's kind of how I'm referring it to.
Well, also, it's interesting that you would say stories are written down about how fucked up it is on the Enterprise because there is a book called Red Shirts. That's basically about it's this metafictional novel about a show that's like Star Trek,
right? And
it takes place from the perspective of the people who die, the red shirts who die every episode.
Yeah,
and it's very good. It's not like Lower Decks. It prefigures Lower Decks by like 15 years, but it's not like that. It's really good.
But it's just like another thing of like, man, we were 30
luck.
minutes away from dying.
They were always, it seems like this, and really they're just
the stakes are amped.
They're just kind of figuring it out, even though there was Starship crews before them. This isn't even the first Enterprise.
But this episode, though, what we were saying too, why this couldn't feel like a pilot, everyone just seems more comfortable with each other. It feels more of a flow. That's why, like, we understand, okay, well, Kirk, this is why Kirk feels this way. This is why Spock's acting this way,
Yeah, it really...
Whereas it wouldn't hit as well in the beginning.
Agreed. They don't give this is about mature characters going against their better judgment. Like, McCoy would not give this information to these women. Scotty would not give, they really are... we have to know, because if they were like Lotharios who would do something like, and we already know that like, oh, Scotty's a goofball and he'll just give information to whoever asks him, it wouldn't make any sense. But we know that they have at least some sort of Starfleet integrity.
Yeah, that was the other thing too that I was bringing up when we were watching the episode. I was like, why isn't Spock like, hey, what the heck, guys? Like, we all need to calm down. And you turned back and said, no, they know what's going on.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting. Spock, everybody knows that they're being hypnotized, hypnotized. Kirk as well. They all know it, but it's not like that. Isn't what the episode is about. Strangely enough, it's a tactic that the women use. But they the one thing, another
it's like
thing,
kind of working but not working. And I was like, what's this guy's end game? Is he gonna get the ship and then the crystal?
And then, there's a very interesting episode where Mudd is under arrest, and he's like, I'm going to take over the ship, and he kicks his feet up, and he's talking to the guards. They're like, the next time you'll be bowing down to your Captain Harcourt Fenton Mudd, not Captain Kirk. And that's just interesting that you would just say that to your jailers.
Yeah.
And something else I wanted to talk about was the description of the Venus drug. Remember, they say that it makes women rounder and better looking and softer, and it makes men tougher and more masculine. And they don't show us that.
No, they never mentioned that. And I also
they
think it was
it.
late. I think it was all late at the end of the script. I mean,
do you think there's another? I know we could. I know we could Google this, but we don't really do. Part of this podcast is we're not going to do real research.
No, we're just off the cuff here.
And looking at and unless the compendium we got at a thrift store gives us information about it. Like, I want to see one of the dudes take the Venus drug and get all crazy and strong and mad and Hulk out. Not to bring it back to the Hulk that I was talking about at the beginning.
Or just like attract women. We'll see that.
Or make them more attractive to Ahura if she had been in the episode. But it really feels like even without Ahura,
there's no
even without
plot.
Well, there's also no Yeoman Rand.
Yeoman Rand, no.
And so there's no women except the Muds women. And I wonder if they were just like, look, the network says we can only have 3 women in an episode. Our hands are tied. We can't afford to pay women a third of what the men get as many times.
We need to save money here, for Christ's sake.
We need to save money, for God's sake.
Get out of my office.
Also, if it was originally one of the possible pilots, they probably just didn't have all the characters. But I think it's because they were like, we can only have X number of women at once.
There are some female crewmates. They're like background characters, but obviously no.
Yeah,
it's
there's
like,
no Yeoman Rand.
There's no one.
There's no Nurse Chapel.
Not part of the senior staff.
Nerp. No, there you go. Not part of the senior staff. What's up, Starfleet? We're going to cancel your fucking ass. We're going to do a documentary about Starfleet.
I think the other interesting thing is the fact that it opened up to like some law, some semblance of like an a bigger scale.
Yes.
Just them searching around and looking for new things.
Yeah, they arrest Mudd for not having a license to pilot a starship.
Like, oh, that's interesting.
And it must
there's
be
no no flight plan either.
Yes,
but I was like, I'm sure that's actually how it is though.
It must be a Federation space thing.
Oh,
right.
Sure.
Like if you're in Federation space, you need a flight plan. Yeah. You got to have a license.
You got to register with certain towers or certain planets.
That's how they catch all those. Yeah, that's how they catch all those dirty Ferengi smugglers.
Yes,
because they're not licensed.
Well, that's the other thing, though. You think in space you can go in anywhere at any point in time. I think it's more of like
it is interesting to think of it as an area that is being monitored and governed
in quadrants. Because that's what I was thinking too with like ATC people in the air, and they have maps. You know, the whole globe
air traffic
controls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just they have to know exactly where every plane is going at all times. And like even with drones now too, you have to apparently call in and say, "Hey, I'm going to fly my drone X amount of altitude high." And you know, you have the smuggler end of it. I would think where some people are like, just the people trying to keep us down, man. Like, we should be able to fly anywhere. But then it's like, it's an actual safety issue because that's just one plane.
But then I think
like in space, it's like you can kind of go anywhere,
big.
right?
Come on,
it's
get off my ass.
Weird,
I don't need a flight plan for space.
It's like, I was like, flight plan?
I'm supposed to have a flight time? Are you going to make a fish file a swim plan for swimming in the fucking ocean?
And then it's like,
I
mean, I guess we're thinking two different universes, but it's like if in Star Wars they just go to hyperspeed at any point in time. They're not like, oh hey, by the way, I'm going to ABC to XYG.
Well, they don't do that on Star Trek.
Life speed, you know, like
I guess when the captain
just go through planets, you know.
I suppose I guess. When the captain of a star, maybe when Kirk gives a command to the navigator and then they put it in and it goes out to Starfleet to let them know where they're going. Maybe.
Oh,
but that is interesting to think about.
Every day.
The interesting thing here is it's kind of like, so the Enterprise is cops, ACAB includes the Federation at this point, but
they're the military though.
But it's just they just stumble we're cops when we happen across somebody breaking the law. We're explorers and scientists otherwise.
Okay,
I thought that was interesting.
But also too, at the beginning of the episode, right? They're just trying to hail the ship. And he goes, well, we are definitely hailing him, and he's not responding, and it's like a mamatter of concern. And
they were going to just let the ship get destroyed.
What if he just answered and lied? Would he just would have gotten away with it? Like, what kind of, are they really cops? Like,
I think that the ship did get damaged. I think the ship did get damaged.
And they were trying to help it, right?
Yeah, that's how it started. Was that they pursued the ship, and then the ship had to go somewhere dangerous to get away from them, and got damaged. And then the Enterprise actually had to use all of their lithium
to save
to
them.
save them.
That's
So
how they
that's
get
what
into
kicked off
trouble.
that's what motivated them having to go
Finish this one plot.
instead of going where Mudd was going to go to sell these women to the buyers he had lined up. They're going to go to this lithium mine, and Mudd's like, this is even better. The lithium miners will have money for us.
And that's the other thing too that I'm thinking.
What is the
you
other
just
thing?
got to be a really shitty person. But like at this point, it comes back to like, people making their star logs and everything. There's got to be more people that know about those planets where it's just women.
Oh, and that's the other thing with these women.
Like,
we should have mentioned
this
that.
Guy should just be like
She's
a really shitty person,
But they didn't. It's not that she.
They didn't go
one
too
of them,
deep into it.
Yeah, but so then when the women make their case, as they're like, look, Mudd isn't just selling us.
Right.
Like, we're from shitty places that don't have women, and we want to find men to be with, so he's helping us, right? But one of them, though, wasn't saying there are 0 men on my planet.
That's
she was saying
so
all the men are shitty. And I'm going to a planet where there's more swiping right to be had.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's what the
I don't
kids
know,
do still.
but it's like, I think, and it's interesting. See, it goes back to like the interesting points because there's so much that happens in Star Trek that they could go into, but they just choose not to, and they have to, they got to end it at a certain time. So.
Yeah, why do these women have to resort to Harcourt Fenton Mudd? Why isn't the Federation out there helping these ladies hook up?
Or maybe there's just
get
more...
off their gross misogynistic planets.
I was thinking, why aren't there more people doing the women thing?
Oh, there probably are.
But it's like they just haven't gotten caught, right?
It's the oldest profession, dude.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Mudd isn't the first person to sell women.
Of course not.
That's where they
still.
That's like the weird little twist about it when 2 of the women are like, "No, we want this," and it really doesn't feel like Stockholm syndrome-y or weird like they. And it's it is still fucked
genuine.
up.
Oh, of course,
it is still
especially
fucked
with
up
the
for
drug
us.
and all that too.
Yeah, and the fact that he's and 2 of them really want to take the drug, but Eve doesn't. I think that Mudd's performance, what was that guy's name again? Roger C. Carmel nailed it. Everybody did a good job. It doesn't even list. It does. Oh, it does list Nichelle Nichols, so she must have been in the background or something. No,
she's at the beginning when they're trying to get the ship, and then have to pull them in
when they're not responding to the hails. It's like they just dropped her out once the other women and people right now are thousands of listeners right now are dashing to their computers to be like, all the women are in many shots. Uhura's always there. Anyway, that's that's Mudd's women.
I think this is
and
just
final
exciting,
thoughts.
Though.
Final thoughts, Al, on
here.
Mudd's women.
Let me see. I don't know. I mean, the highlight for me was definitely the computer scene. That was pretty good with the incorrect. Yeah, that was great. And then I really liked the fact that they started to peel back more layers of what's happening outside the Enterprise. That it's not just them. Kind of show them being space cops for a little bit, but other than that, it was really good. It was really solid. I mean, it was better served as like a get the ground running kind of episode rather than like right off from the pilot.
Yes,
which is a good blessing.
Yes, it's better that this wasn't the first Star Trek episode that anybody saw. I thought there were some really good lines. Blast that tin-plated pot, the guy says at one point. There's a oh man.
I mean, we had to rewind that Kirk line. I love that part.
At the end when
the
Kirk,
crystals, Scotty.
Yeah, I couldn't get him. I know I should have tried, but I couldn't. You like that, Scotty?
I didn't get him.
Fucking, do you get it, Scotty? Yeah, it's good.
Fucking crystals.
I understand because what makes a classic Star Trek is it's about real, grounded human issues, men and women
Fire
stuff,
script,
and there's a great fucking guest star. That's what does it.
Kirk freaking out.
Oh, and I was going to say, Kirk is great. Kirk is like one of the last people to get hypnotized. And
True.
One other thing, big ups to Bones, because Bones even says at one point, are they really this beautiful or are they just acting beautiful? And then at the end, she's beautiful without the drug.
Oh, and also too, They never bring up the sensor thing, too. Doesn't she go under the medical sensor?
Oh, she accidentally walks in front of the medical
on
sensor, and he's still hypnotized by her, but he's like, Bones is such a doctor about shit that even though there's a beautiful woman that was like hypnotizing him, he's also like, wait, can you walk back in front of that sensor? Yes, I'm hypnotized. You're beautiful. I want to do anything for you. Really quick, though. Scoot over to the right. And yeah, I didn't get into that sensor stuff.
Maybe
they didn't really
it was
come
like
back
the
to
drug.
it.
No, it wasn't the drug.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was like
the drug.
wherever the planet where they were from. Well, no, okay, because see, I'm still on the fence because it's like it says in this compendium that NBC appreciated the drug thing because it was nullified at the end, right?
Yes.
So it's like maybe it's like a form of steroids or something, or maybe like it's cocaine and they just get really excited and they doll.
Well, no, I mean, I think it makes them physically more beautiful, but it also gives them confidence.
True.
It matches it. And then but then in the end, you didn't need it. You had the beauty inside you all along. And that's Mud's women.
They end up doing the trade.
Oh, yeah. And then the women did end up staying with the miners. Yeah. Everybody wins, sort of.
Well, yeah, Mud's going to trial.
Mud is going to trial, supposedly. And you know, to our feminist listeners, if we fucked up, if we didn't understand something about this, I'm sorry. It's a fucked up episode. And that's it. Mud's Women, episode 6. Well, we still got other stuff to talk about.
Right. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but that's just the end of us talking about the shit that we came here to talk about, the Trek. Recommendations. Al, what you got? What you got?
Well, this is just mainly for Orphan. I guess, yeah, watch The Orphan. The first one.
The Orphan.
That's the first one.
And that's the horror movie about a little girl. Movie. We're not going to spoil it.
That's it. She's
it's
just
old.
A little girl. Horror
Creepy
movie.
little
2009.
girl. The Orphan. There's also
a sequel they're plugging, but it's not as great.
And all of this is also on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is a prequel to The Orphan that they're pushing now. Prequel. But so don't watch them chronologically. Al suggests you watch the OG, The Orphan first.
I would recommend that.
I think I read a synopsis. There was a time when I didn't watch scary movies. I just read synopsises of them to see what's going on.
Uh-huh.
I guess my recommendation would be I'm playing Breath of Fire again on the Switch Virtual Console, where it gives you like 30 Super Nintendo games to play. I was going nuts because I couldn't find an easy way with my PS4 or my Switch to just play motherfucking Final Fantasy 4 or 5 or American Final Fantasy 2 or 3. I just want to do the Espers. I just want to have Mog or the Moogle or whatever the fuck in the little robot suits and fight the squid. But I ended up just firing up my old save of Breath of Fire that I'm only like a little bit into. But it's great. Squaresoft and Capcom, I believe, worked together on the Breath of Fire games. And they're good. And also She-Hulk.
Yeah, Shulk.
The Shulk. Don't listen to the haters. She-Hulk is just fine.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I like it.
It's cool.
It is cool.
I
think the Hulk fight was cool.
The Hulk fight was cool, and there's a very cool, campy kung fu fight at the end, briefly, that I just loved. But yes, and so those are our recommendations. Breath of Fire, The Orphan from 2009, She-Hulk. This is Trek in the Valley. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.